Italy. It's known for its diversity of rich food and rich culture. Even more famous, though, is its Roman ancestry. The Roman Republic, then Empire, crushed its opponents and unified not just Italy but much of the Mediterranean. In 476, barbarians conquered the west of the empire, and with it, Italy. From this point, Italy was decentralized, and no state had control over all of Italy until the 1860s. Garibaldi was a revolutionary inspired by Enlightenment ideas, who fought to unify a decentralized Italy. The success of Italian unification created attempts at reform in the Italian government, which initiated a reaction in the balance of power for Europe over the next century.
In the 17th and 18th century, revolutionary thinkers like Jean-Jacques Rousseau and John Locke spoke of ideas of nationalism and democracy, beginning a time period called the Enlightenment. This revolution in thought and ideology inspired the unification of Italy and in one man in particular, Giuseppe Garibaldi. Garibaldi was born on July 4th, 1807. His father, a Mediterranean seafaring merchant. On a seafaring expedition with his father, he was exposed to the idea of a unified Italy. In 1833, a man named Giuseppe Mazzini inspired Garibaldi to join Mazzini's Young Italians, a group in support of Italian unification. In 1834, after participating in a failed revolution in Piedmont, Garibaldi fled to South America where he met his wife, and they fought in a number of South American wars. He developed advanced methods of guerrilla warfare, becoming an infamous general and leader. In 1849, Garibaldi returned to Italy to assist the cause during the First War of Unification.
In 1849, the assassination of a Vatican official led to a revolutionary takeover of Rome. The revolutionaries set up a representative government with Mazzini as one of its three heads. The Pope fled, and Naples and France were sent to recapture Rome. Garibaldi returned in 1849 to help defend Rome. The first attack was by the French on April 30th, 1849, and was unsuccessful because the French hadn't realized they had to fight to take back the city. After devastating the French in a battle, Garibaldi demanded that they follow and attack the French, but Mazzini overrode him and signed a ceasefire to show their war was defensive. During the ceasefire, Garibaldi stopped attacks from Naples on May 9th and 19th respectively, and forced the Neapolitans to flee. Unfortunately for Mazzini, the ceasefire was a grave mistake. The French were using the ceasefire to amass an army of 30,000 men, and broke the ceasefire a day early, invading the city and taking a hill above Rome to bombard it with cannons. In June of 1849, it was decided that Rome could no longer be defended, and Garibaldi fled with his army, which eventually disbanded. To contextualize this, it is important to note that many other revolutions failed around the First War of Italian unification, like revolutions in Hungary and Paris. This led to many revolutionaries to feel hopeless, but for many Italians, this was not the end.
Sardinia-Piedmont was a kingdom in northern Italy who was run by King Victor Emmanuel II, a smart leader and a man who could see the talent in others. And at his side was Prime Minister Camillo Benso di Cavour, a stunning diplomat and liberalizer of the nation. He wanted to make a unified kingdom of Italy, kicking out the Austrians and the Bourbons. This would create a unified Italy under Piedmontese rule.
Many European leaders were against Italian unification, but Italy's greatest ally came in an unexpected turn in 1858, when Emperor Napoleon III of France was attacked by an Italian nationalist who threw a bomb beneath his carriage. He saw beyond the act of violence and began to see the benefits of an Italian state, especially one to counter Austrian influence in southern Europe.
At this point, Cavour wanted to go to war with Austria for Venetia and Lombardy. However, diplomatic pressure from other European powers stopped him from attacking, and even Napoleon turned against the Piedmontese, telling them to demobilize. After mutual mobilization, the Austrians sent the Italians an ultimatum demanding demobilization, but Piedmont refused and declared war on Austria.
Although they didn't have the power to fight Austria, Napoleon changed his mind and sent 100,000 men to end Piedmont's fight against Austria. The Second War of Italian Independence began. Decisively, France and Piedmont Sardinia were able to beat Austria after the Battle of Solferino in 1859. But France, the greater power in the partnership, ended the war prematurely, refusing to capture all the lands that the Piedmontese desired. Still, Lombardy succeeded to Piedmontese, and King Victor Emmanuel II now presided as the King of Italy in the north, though much of it still remains.
This war had an impact on many revolutionaries in central Italian states like Piacenza, Parma, Tuscany, Modena, and Romagna. This led to provisional governments being set up and eventually votes for unification into Piedmont Sardinia, which all passed. Initially, France was against these states joining Piedmont Sardinia, but when Victor Emmanuel gave Savoy and Nice to the French, Napoleon III finally allowed it. In early May of the year 1860, Garibaldi and 1,089 men left from Geneva to Sicily. To invade Sicily, Garibaldi and his poorly equipped soldiers would have to beat 25,000 well-armed troops, and if they wanted to invade the mainland, they would have to fight 100,000 more. Garibaldi landed in Sicily unopposed, eventually being attacked for a short time by the Neapolitans. Because of a miscommunication, they were able to land without significant casualties. While marching to Palermo, the red shirts were able to pick up many Sicilian reinforcements, greatly helping their cause. After taking Palermo, Garibaldi's forces attacked the mainland and were able to sweep through most of southern Italy. They won countless battles and claimed victory over the kingdom of two Sicilies. Cavour feared if Garibaldi kept pushing north, it might lead to consequences for Piedmont Sardinia due to French involvement if Garibaldi invaded the Papal States. So Victor Emmanuel marched to meet Garibaldi. In a climactic Cincinnatus-like moment, a Republican Garibaldi unexpectedly laid down his sword and proclaimed that Italy would be under the rule of a king, rejecting his pro-democracy stance for a peaceful transition into a united Italy. Then Italy held a countrywide plebiscite, which the population voted for a singular kingdom of Italy.
After their defeat in the Second War, Austrian influence weakened, almost instantly triggering another war between Italy and Austria starting in 1866 for the prosperous and wealthy Venetian region. Italy allied with Prussia, which led to several Italian defeats, but Prussian victories pressured the Austrians to cede the Venetian region to France, who then formally gave it to Italy. In 1870, the unification finally came to an end because the Prussian-French War, the French were forced to move their troops out of Rome to protect their land from the Prussians. Almost immediately after this, Italian troops annexed the city, taking it for their own and making it its capital, which today still remains.
The ideas of Italian nationalism influenced the unification of Germany, leading to a power imbalance in Europe and leading to different reactions from different nations, such as France, who supported Italian unification, but because of a centralized Germany, they were invaded again and again in the Franco-Prussian War, World War I, and World War II. It also led to a reaction on the global stage as Italy went on to invade Libya as well as other African nations and also fought in both world wars.
There was also a reaction by the Italian people, mostly because there were quite a few problems that arose from the revolution, namely economic disparities, social differences, regional variances in this newly established Kingdom of Italy. There were economic differences between the North and South, where the more industrialized North exploited its southern counterpart for resources. For example, the North produced 17,000 tons of steel, whereas the South only produced 1,500 tons. This was particularly a problem in the South because Southern Italians saw this unification as colonization of their land, and it's a way for the North to control and oppress them. Italian was also not the common language at this time, and thus there were linguistic barriers between the peoples of Italy. There were economic slowdowns and financial crises which led to political scandals and bank failures. This would all lead to the future rise of an ideology that would kill millions: fascism.
World War I set Italy on its path to fascism and modern-day Italy after the Vittoria Mutilata, the mutilated victory. Both sides desired Italy to join them to expand the front against the enemy, though eventually the Entente won and Italy joined their side, promised large amounts of land in the Treaty of London. Despite only a mild performance, the Italians came out as the victors of the war, but not to the extent they expected. With the Treaty of London being broken, Italy was only given a fraction of what they were promised. That and millions lost due to the war led to the rise of discontent with people, and eventually the rise of fascism. Under this regime, the Italian identity developed, Mussolini bringing the people together to try to form a new Roman Empire. Though this regime did not last forever and fell with the rest of the Nazis and united the people against the fascists. Now, finally freed, the people abolished the monarchy and created a united Republic of Italy as we know today.
Overall, Garibaldi's military success and Cavour's diplomatic achievement under the banner of Victor Emmanuel II led to a united Italy. They succeeded in making a new nation in a peninsula that was separated for hundreds of years. The revolutionary new nation led to a mixed reaction by the Italian people, which was eventually taken over by a fascist government attempting reform. To this day, Italy still works on division, but is a beacon of democracy and stability throughout the world.